It's the FooRcast. Me, Gavin Ford.
Aki.
Double T.
Sweet baby doublet.
Back from the dead.
Back from the dead.
I'm
right.
back from Tenerife. I had a lovely time.
And Aki's back from Tenerife. So now where did you go? Oh, you were ill, weren't
In
you?
the official holiday rankings, Aki's at the top now.
Owen was ill. Said he had food poisoning, but was it?
No.
I did take my coat to Tenerife as well.
Aki's had
Hasn't taken it off
I
since.
haven't taken it off.
He's never taken that coat off.
Anyway.
It's the FooRcast. What are we talking about?
Well, I thought we could talk about genres because I'm changing genres this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going from bass line to drum and bass.
Let's talk about Owen, shall we? Yeah.
That's how all the best podcasts start. Yeah. And I'm doing that all through the same alias that I've used.
Which is Sweet Baby Doublet for anyone at home who doesn't.
Yep. But we were in the studio with someone the other day who was asking a similar question about changing genres and whether they should create a new alias for that. And I wanted to get your guys, the experts' thoughts on it.
Well, you're not changing alias.
No.
So tell us why you're not changing alias. Let's start with you. Then we'll tell you why you're wrong.
Well, one thing we talked about loads in the podcast is that Spotify works best when you put more and more information into it.
Well, I said that.
You've said that. Aki might have said it as well.
We are clever guys.
And I've been putting information into Spotify and building following on Spotify since 2020. Now, obviously, changing genres might confuse things a bit. But again, if you are consistent and you keep putting out music and good music, which I like to think I am doing or will be doing, then it will get to the point where my Spotify works in the way that your Spotify does, where if I release a drum and bass track, it will send it to all the fans of Double T drum and bass. And if I release a bassline track, it will send it to all the fans of Double T bassline.
I think it's best to not change it just for social media because you'd have to start a new Instagram profile, new TikTok, everything, and do 2 lots of content, 2 lots of that. Which, I mean, if you're really, really into content, you should do it. But Spotify, as you say, the more information you put into it. When we release a FooR drum and bass record, drum and bass is a bigger genre than garage, so we release drum and bass and garage predominantly. A FooR drum and bass record, well, it can do millions, but an average one probably does 500,000.
Yeah, a couple 100,000, a few 100,000.
So 300,000 to 500,000 is an average. or sort of the bottom performing drum and bass record, where a garage record can do like 50 minimum, and 300,000, 500,000 actually a result. But it can do millions, but it sort of bottoms out at 50. So and that's like across the board doing all different garage of all different people. So yeah, the Spotify can figure out the people that like FooR records that are garage, and it can figure out FooR records, people who like FooR records that are drum and bass, because it's given it the same amount of numbers, and that number slowly grows. So it does figure it out. I think your first couple of records at drum and bass thing, there's going to be some people that like Double T that will listen to it out of curiosity, that will come up on release radar. It's going to thing, but it's not going to figure out that algorithm till it's got more and more in it. I think.
Yeah,
we didn't really we made drum and bass because it was lockdown, and we taught ourselves how to make drum and bass in lockdown. We'd already flicked about with drum and bass, but we really learned in lockdown. We did like classes with Turno and tutorials, and like we really learned how to do it in the break, and that's why we did it. We weren't thinking like, oh yeah, let's algorithms and this. We were just doing it, and now we've done it for that's 5 years.
Yeah,
so we've been 5 years garage, 5 years.
Yeah, I should say that the only reason I have it, it's not the only reason that I've done drum and bass is because I want to put the Spotify algorithm to work. I found that I was DJing more drum and bass and enjoying listening to more drum and bass. So I was getting production tips from Tengu, from John when I was sending him my tracks. So I've sort of gone about it the same way. You guys have just got the...
Well, yeah, when we DJ predominantly garage and bass stuff. And the drum and bass stuff we make is very vocal, so we don't really DJ it. And we're actually about to release a load of music that's what we would play out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of the aim.
So we're actually release one type of music to stream and one type of music to DJ. Will be this year.
Yeah.
Where last year we released some garage records to stream and some drum and bass records to stream.
I feel like 20 years ago, there's a lot of artists under different aliases, but like I say, I think this day and age, you've got to do so much social media stuff that it's a bit more tricky to change your name and make records under a different name and promote it.
You'd have to do like come up with a new alias to say like Triple T. and then you'd have to do the same, but the post couldn't look the same as your double T ones because then people just see the same as being like.
Yeah.
So it's.
It takes me long enough to think of a 15-second video to put on my double T account.
But Flavor D does
2 different things.
Flavor D does 2 genres, and she does fight, and she DJs thing. There's no problem. But there's a lot of people that do it.
Well, I remember Zinc. He done 138 track and it was called Zinc. But then after that, he called himself Jammin'. He made Kinda Funky and Go DJ.
This is final days though, right?
Yeah, but what do you think the reason was that? He originally went with Zinc and then changed to Jammin'.
Because back then you'd listen to records, you buy records because they were good. It didn't matter the name, and he probably kept it. So
do you think he changed it to Jammin' though, not to confuse it with the drum and bass?
Yeah, 100%. Because 138 track was a track on an album that he brought out, and it was like on a vinyl. If you imagine a vinyl, it was like not a B-side, but you know, like how they split up. So it was like a little track at the end. It didn't go straight away. It sort of took off amongst breakbeat DJs, and maybe it was part of a drum and bass album that just had this garage track at the end. So maybe, I don't know. And also like the contracts, if you're signing a contract with a label, you might not be allowed to release stuff as Zinc.
No.
You might not be allowed to do at least, but now it's not.
Obviously, like he started Bingo Records with Jammin'. That's when.
So it might have been his own label. Zinc might have been signed to True Players at the time.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you're signing single at a time, maybe 2-3 singles. So you wouldn't, if you were stuck in a deal for years, which back then deals were more like that, you'd have to start a different name to do it. But nowadays, like the social media aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think one alias will always take a backseat as well.
Yeah.
Like the example we used the other day was Friction and Fine Art. Fine Art obviously is alias for releasing Bassline.
Oh, yeah.
Friction, as long as I can remember, has always been active online, but I don't even think Fine Art had like a face, and it was just that through word of mouth, people knew that it was Friction.
Social media was basic and stuff.
The same with I think Mad About Frankie, which is Annex, is Bassline 1. That was literally just posting an out now animation.
Yeah.
And they're dog poo now.
I think obviously as artists we want to create, and I also think like with writer's block, which we'll do another episode on one day about writer's block, how to get through it. But I always think writer's block, you do a different genre. Like if you have to make drum and bass for a living, you should
swing to other genres.
To get some creativity going. So there's always that. So I think that artists will always do it and obviously make it. And you think like these people, like Fine Art, obviously like the records are amazing for one, and the DJs are playing them. So then once they come out, once people are playing them, then people want them, and then you got to bring them out because there's demand. And then you might not want to put his face to it. You might not want to do a social media post.
Yeah.
It's like obviously there's still a massive element of people making music because they love making music and they don't want to do the business end of it. They don't want to do content for it. They don't want to do this for it. They don't want to do that for it. And there's that element to it as well. The record's just blown up, but then records don't really blow up in clubs anymore like that, do they?
No, I guess the clips from live sets that like go semi-viral or something, but I think people are more bothered about getting clips of the songs that have just come out than they are getting
or just about to come out, the dub plate sort of culture things.
Like I saw Sammy Virgie recently, and before that he just had his big Brixton show, and I was really worried about all the phones being up and that kind of ruining the experience. And people just film the tracks that are already out or are just about to come out that everyone knows.
Oh really?
Whereas when I go, because I do film a couple drops just to look back or post on Instagram or whatever on the night, I always try and get the ones that I haven't heard before, or try and catch things that are unreleased rather than. Yeah,
but that shows that you're a producer and a DJ because you want to hear the new things.
Yeah, because when we used to go out, we used to want to hear the records that weren't out.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
But the artist that was here in a week asking about how to go into other genres and how to do, we talked to them about, we discussed it with them, and we obviously said a lot of what we said now. I think the other thing about doing 2 different genres is it does get confusing. It can get confusing for people booking you. I think promoters still do want, even though things are a lot more multi-genre, they still want to go, I know what this sort of set this person's going to DJ. Yeah. Like where if you looked at our Spotify and heard us DJ, they're 2 completely separate things. So that's partly why we're doing this music thing.
Yeah, to try and.
So another thing would be like, and also on social, this is what I'm putting out. But it will catch up. Because obviously we say we're doing 2 different things, so we're not the best example. But we sort of said to that, I think the best thing to do with all genres when we're talking to this guy is, we saw recently Notion saying about going on TikTok and about all the different things that sound like his remix. And Salute also did a tweet as well saying about how many, and I heard one and I was like listening to it thinking, wow, this is exactly the same. Notion, that record, well, what genre was that record?
I don't know, like Notion's always been that guy who like pioneers the new sound. So you could
I
say
don't think you should try and copy a pioneer sound. You should,
So what? Yeah, but what genre is it?
I wouldn't. I'd say it's bass. It's not like a garage, is it?
It's somewhere between garage and bass.
But that's exactly so exactly. It's not a genre. It's his own thing. So now everyone's trying to make a record that sounds like Notion.
Yeah.
So now Notion is, oh, I want to go see Notion because he sounds like Notion, as opposed to, oh, he's making this, he's making that. Now everyone wants to sound like him. That's the best place to be, because then you're existing in your own world. It doesn't matter what genre you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just doing you. And that's the strongest place to be.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to be. So all these, for everyone asking and everyone thinking about it, the best thing to do is to do you and exist. Yeah. But to be honest, you got to be good. That's not like something you can just wake up and go, oh, here's my stuff that sounds like. You've got to be as good as Notion.
He's always been the best though. Early bassline tracks like Crooklyn, that started a sound. Then when it went to like more UK bass, like 2017-18 Time, Burning, Hooked, tracks like that started UK bass, and now he's just doing it again.
Well, yeah, he's always been unique. Yeah. So obviously it's really paying off now, and it's deserved. I mean, that's someone who's for as long as I can remember has just done his own thing, released consistently, quality, and it pays off. And I think as much as you can talk about genres and what to do and what not to do and algorithms and this, we always say that the strongest thing and the best way to promote music is to make music that's good and original. And
I see, if you can do something unique and it's good, then you'll stand out from the rest, and that's what will make you.
And also, people won't get as bored of it, because it's not like, oh, everything sounds like this, so I'm bored of it. Oh, do you remember when everything sounded like this? If you've got a record that's unique, then it's going to keep streaming. Like our record, Nights of Our Lives, which is our biggest record, streamed its record weeks were a year and a half after it come out, and it's 2 years. It's literally coming up to 2 years. 10th of March it come out, 2023, and it's still the biggest streaming record that we've done. And it still streams hundreds of thousands a week, because people don't get bored of it, because there's not another record that sounds like it. So it's not like, thing. But when like you listen to records in a time, you think, oh, I remember that time, and then you move on to another one. So that's another thing for being another plus for being unique. Yeah, you won't get bored of it. And also, there's still loads of people that haven't heard it.
That's it. Yeah, people still discovering it, aren't they?
Yeah, because it didn't go real big. There's records. Those records you're talking about in those times, there are records that sort of are based around that time, aren't they? They're like, oh, we listened to that. Yeah. Oh, do you remember those times, these records? Like, and then you almost don't listen to them again.
Yeah.
Where a unique record and a great record you listen to for forever. And like a lot of if you think about the records that you've loved for a long time, they were probably all quite unique in their ways, rather than like you don't really remember the records that were trying to sound like something else.
No, that's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing to keep your own name, personally.
I mean, unless you love content, unless you're like a content king and a content like you want to do all this content and do two lots. If you can do two lots, then separate it.
But also, he's not really camera shy. He speaks in the camera, so it'd be easier to get across to people that he is actually making drum and bass now, rather than just doing it.
Yeah.
Through the music.
That's true. I've been promoting the change drum and bass since the start of the year, but I haven't had anything out and won't have anything out until later this month. So,
but we can look at it as it goes and see how it goes as we do. And like, if anyone's thinking of starting a new genre, you can join Owen's journey. And we can see how it goes and what works and what doesn't work, and we'll tell you what works and what doesn't work. And hopefully, because obviously we say it was 5 years ago we started. But it wasn't the smoothest transition.
No.
But yeah, all right. Well, I think, any other questions, Odog?
I guess the other thing is that if someone is in a genre like bassline or UK bass, which was really big, then sort of died off and now is coming back, is is it a good idea for them to sort of chase the trends and the sound that changes, or is there anything like to benefit from staying on a certain sound?
If you get big in a certain sound, you should stay there really, because music travels in circles. And if you stay there, like EZ always did DJ Garage, and when Garage come back round those boiler rooms, he become he made more the second coming round after the boiler rooms than he did. And now he's just booked all the time. Like, if you chase stuff, you're always just behind it. So the genres go around, you're just chasing it. Like if you're exceptional, if you're an exceptional producer, like a Notion, then you're doing your own thing and you're always around it. Virgie as well, like he was always in between sort of genres, I think. Yeah, I think you should always stay, because if you chase it, then you come back to it. I think people are a little bit...
Yeah, don't want to chase the sound too much. Try and keep your own sound.
Yeah.
With adding the little bits of what's relevant at the time.
Yeah, and also there's people that will want you to keep doing what you're doing. They want you to do the new stuff.
That's correct.
You have to really, really commit to it. And also, like, people, if you go back to it, people are like, oh, look, they've gone back to that because of that. But
yeah,
I think I think that is kind of, there's not many people, there's people that try and do other things, but I think most people, like, if you get big in the scene, it's really, really difficult to go to a different one. Like Scream did it with House, but now he does the odd dubstep set. Skepsis did it from bass line to drum, but so Notion's always just done his own sort of thing.
Yeah,
like, so it is possible, but I think you've got to be real. They're three exceptional producers.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah.
All right, sweet.
Cool.
I think that's everything. Let us know if we've missed anything out. If you agree with us, disagree with us.
Yep.
And wallop.
And good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck, O-Dog, with your transition.
I hope it's musically.
Good. You can transition however you want, Owen.
Yeah, brilliant. We don't judge here, mate.
But yeah, keep keep tuned, and we'll let you know how Owen does.
Yeah.
Wallop.